Today we're talking about the 10 best defensive vehicles you need to own in GTA Online to protect yourself from other players. Before we get into the video, if you find the information valuable, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you're new, because according to this graph, 75% of you are not subscribed yet. Let's get started. Starting off with the HVY Night Shark for $1,245,000. It's crazy that this is where we're starting off on a defensive vehicles list for GTA Online. The HVY Night Shark used to be one of the very best vehicles in online to defend yourself from other players. Now don't get me wrong, it's still absolutely incredible for this purpose in 2026, but there's just so many good vehicles to use to defend yourself in the game now. The Night Shark can take 27 homing missiles, 9 RPGs, or 23 explosive heavy sniper rounds. These stats are absolutely awesome and can help to keep you alive for a long time in this vehicle. The only issue is that the Night Shark is extremely easy to be shot out of. It has pretty large windows and the window plates don't protect you from bullets, sadly. However, they do stop the occupants from shooting or throwing sticky bombs out of the vehicle, so they're actually a huge liability to have on. The driver of the Night Shark does get access to front-mounted machine guns, but unfortunately they might as well shoot Nerf darts because they'll take forever to take out a player or a vehicle. The Night Shark does have a top speed of 105.25 miles per hour. It's pretty good off-road and on-road, although it definitely could benefit from a little bit more ground clearance or bigger wheels, which is to say there are definitely better off-road vehicles than the Night Shark. Moving on, we have the Bravado Buffalo STX coming in at $1,612,500 to $2,150,000 if you don't have the trade price. This is an original Imani Tech vehicle, which means it gets some additional features that most Imani Tech vehicles don't. To start, the STX comes with bullet-resistant windows, which can take up to 15 shots from an assault rifle. Additionally, you can also fit armor plating and a missile lock-on jammer through the vehicle workshop at the agency. Furthermore, it can be equipped with front-mounted machine guns that honestly put the Night Shark's front-mounted machine guns to shame. They deal hefty damage to players and vehicles alike. Plus, you can also equip this car with an oil slick proximity mine dropper, which will allow you to spin out adversaries pursuing you. The STX with armor plating can take up to 12 homing missiles, or 4 RPGs, or up to 10 explosive heavy sniper rounds. While this is less than the Night Shark, it does also have the missile lock-on jammer, which helps to keep it alive for much longer. Performance-wise, the STX is one of the best muscle cars in GTA Online still to this day. It has a top speed of 126 miles per hour, paired with rear-wheel drive and really good handling, as well as the ability to wheelie due to being placed in the muscle category. It's a great car to get around fairly quickly with friends, and of course, it is a 4-seater. Here we have the Insurgent Pickup Custom for $1,998,000. The Insurgent Pickup Custom can be created by turning a regular Insurgent Pickup, the Pegasus version, into a custom variant within either the MOC or Avenger vehicle workshops. The conversion cost will be $202,500, and it's extremely worth doing. Not to mention, you can also do it multiple times and create multiple Insurgent Pickup Customs for just $202,500. The Pickup Custom can be upgraded with different levels of armor plating. These affect how much protection the gunner on the roof gets, but they also do restrict the use of weaponry from occupants inside of the vehicle. For example, the heavy armor plating will not allow the use of weaponry from the inside occupants. The Pickup Custom also gets access to performance upgrades like the engine, transmission, and turbo, as well as suspension to achieve your ideal ride height. If you have it unlocked through bunker research, you can also fit a proximity mine dropper and change the gun on the roof from a 50 cal to a 50 cal minigun. However, I would advise against this because the regular gun it comes with does way more damage per second. Armor-wise, this vehicle can take the exact same 27 homing missiles, 9 RPGs, or 23 explosive heavy sniper rounds as the Night Shark. It just has a lot more defensive features compared to that vehicle, which make it much easier to defend yourself in my opinion. The trade-off with this is that the Insurgent Pickup Custom has a slightly lower top speed of only 98.5 miles per hour. However, it weighs in significantly higher than the Night Shark, so it's going to be able to ram vehicles out of your way a lot easier. Plus, it has a very low center of gravity, which will almost always keep it on its wheels. This is my favorite armored vehicle in the game for all of those reasons. And next up, we have the Bravado Half Track for $1,695,000 or $2,254,350 if you don't have the trade price. This vehicle is referred to in GTA Online as the Armored Turtle, due to its extremely slow but well-protected stance. The half-track can be upgraded in an Avenger or MOC workshop, and quite a few things can be changed about it. from the front mounted roller, which will move vehicles or objects out of your way with ease, to the proximity mine dropper if you have it unlocked through bunker research. Also available through bunker research is an upgrade for the half-track's already existing gun, turning it from a dual-barreled flat cannon to a quad-barreled flat cannon, increasing the damage output significantly in the process, of course. The half-track has identical armor stats to the Insurgent Pickup Custom and the Night Shark. However, it has an unintentional feature, and this comes in the form of the completely bulletproof front windshield. This cannot be shot through. In conjunction with the rear being entirely bulletproof, you're extremely well protected while you're inside the cab of this vehicle, only being able to actually be shot through the relatively small side windows. So point those away from whoever's after you and you're going to be fine. Just in case you forgot the armor stats of the Insurgent or the Night Shark, this along with those can take 27 homing missiles, 9 RPGs, or 23 explosive heavy sniper rounds. Sadly, there is a trade-off like I hinted at the beginning of talking about the half-track, and that is the fact that this vehicle is exceptionally slow. With a top speed of only 58 miles per hour, you won't be going anywhere fast with this thing, sadly. Luckily, it's fairly good off-road, even on very steep terrain. Here we have the Mobile Operations Center cab for $1,225,000 plus. The MOC cab is the single most armored vehicle in GTA Online. However, it's placed a little bit further up on the list, and we're going to get into why that is soon. The MOC cab can either be the Joe-built Phantom Custom or the Joe-built Hauler Custom. Personally, I recommend the Phantom. It has a slightly higher top speed of 103.5 miles per hour compared to the Hauler's 101.25 miles per hour top speed. However, the Hauler does have slightly better cornering and braking, so it might suit your needs a bit better depending on what you're going to use it for. To purchase either vehicle, you're going to need to own a bunker business, and you're going to get the Mobile Operations Center with it, which can be upgraded to have a vehicle and weapon workshop, where you upgrade a lot of the previous vehicles we've gone over. Now, either of the MOC cabs can take 69 homing missiles, 24 RPGs, or up to 59 explosive heavy sniper rounds. Plus, either cab is entirely bulletproof from the rear, so keep your back to your enemies and they won't be able to hit you in the driver's seat. The reason that this thing is placed a little bit lower on the list is simply because it's so big and bulky and neither of the cabs brake very well. So it's not exactly agile, and there are some vehicles that are a little bit better protected, I feel like, coming up. So let's go ahead and talk about them. Next up, we have the Buckingham Akula for $3,375,000 to $4,500,000. Now, the Akula formerly cost only $2.8 to $3.7 million, but the price was increased back in 2023, which honestly is probably fair enough considering all the awesome features this helicopter gives you access to. The Akula is a 4-seater helicopter that has a top speed of 157.25 miles per hour, making it one of the fastest helicopters in the game, let alone armed helicopters in the game. And inside the hangar with the workshop upgrade, you can change the Akula extensively. The armor, helicopter handling, engine can all be upgraded to make it tougher, faster, and fly easier. You can also upgrade it to be more deadly by equipping bombs, a dual-mounted minigun for the co-pilot, as well as your choice of either homing missiles or a 4-missile barrage. The best thing the Akula has at its disposal, though, is of course stealth mode. Now, activating this completely removes the minimap icon while you're in stealth mode. This will also reduce any wanted level that you have down to a 2-star as well. This is extremely good for getting around the map without being noticed, but you can activate the weapons again at a button's press whenever it works to unleash hell on anyone that's coming after you. This helicopter can also take a bit of a beating as well, taking up to 3 homing missiles, 3 RPGs, or 7 heavy sniper Mark II explosive rounds before blowing up. This vehicle is every bit offensively gifted as it is defensively gifted. Here we have the Benefactor Terabyte for $1,375,000 plus. The Benefactor Terabyte is the second most armored vehicle in GTA Online, and thanks to upgrades it received in the last few years, it's actually an extremely good vehicle defensively in GTA Online nowadays. With the addition of the Agents of Sabotage DLC, Rockstar added the ability to upgrade the Terabyte with Bureau Tech through the Garment Factory business. Now, Bureau Tech refers to the missile lock-on jammer as well as a silent running module, which removes the Terabyte's blip from the map as long as it is stationary. Bureau Tech also gives the player access to upgrading the Terabyte to have a master control terminal and a collectible scanner as well, which are both pretty cool. With these upgrades though, the Terabyte can essentially become an off-radar anti-air station thanks to the missile upgrade that's available for it as well, which also completely bypasses missile lock-on jammers, by the way, just saying. Now, the Terabyte armor-wise was also crazy good to begin with. It can take up to 34 homing missiles or RPGs, or 81 explosive heavy sniper rounds. Now additionally, the front windows are also bullet resistant and they can take up to 15 shots from an assault rifle. Pair this with the lock-on jammer and the silent running module, as well as those missiles, and it's pretty easy to see why this thing is so damn good defensively. At 3, we have the Pegasi Toreador for $4,250,000. This is no doubt one of the most capable vehicles for defending yourself in GTA Online, particularly from pesky Oppressor Mark IIs, but it's got some more great features to keep you safe. Unfortunately, its price was increased from $3,660,000 back in 2023. But to get started with the great features of the Pegasi Toreador, it has a rocket boost that has a relatively short recharge and gives you the ability to have short boosts of rocket power to get the car out of the way of incoming fire. This is especially good for dodging rockets if you get the timing right. Additionally, it's a submersible vehicle, which means if you really need to get away, you can simply dive it into the water and just stay under the surface. As long as it has the front driver and passenger door, that is. If they're missing, it will die instantly when it hits the water. However, the rear doors can be completely gone, and the water, I guess, is just scared of going in through the back seat, I guess. It has some of the more aggressive missiles in GTA Online, which have excellent tracking and speed, which is of course perfect for taking out Oppressor Mark IIs. Now, they're not as good as the Vigilante or Deluxo missiles, they're a tier worse than those, but they're still far better than most homing missiles in the game. The Toreador can take a good amount of damage as well. It'll take up to 6 homing missiles, 2 RPGs, or 5 explosive heavy sniper rounds. And with the boost activated as often as possible, it reaches a top speed of 135.25 miles per hour. Up next, we got the Mammoth F-160 Raju for $5,141,250 to $6,855,000. The famous saying goes, the best defense is a good offense, and I think that sums up the F-160 Raju pretty well. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the Raju, but let's talk about it for those of you that aren't as familiar. The Raju is the fastest vehicle in GTA Online with a top speed of 232.5 miles per hour, which is fast enough to outrun most missiles in the game. In fact, the Raju at top speed can actually outrun its own missiles. However, it can also slow down to a crawl with VTOL mode, which allows for players to target enemies more accurately in tighter areas, but it also allows the plane to maneuver and land in tight spaces. The F-160 comes equipped with homing or non-homing missiles, just as standard regular aircraft missiles that pretty much everything in the game that flies has, as well as dual side-mounted explosive cannons. These deal pretty good damage, but they can be a bit frustrating to aim due to how the crosshair placement works in GTA. They will still one-shot unarmored vehicles, you just need to take some time to learn them. The best feature by far though is that the Raju has stealth mode, like the Akula that we talked about earlier. This is toggleable and disables the weapons, but it removes your blip from the map entirely, allowing you to get around extremely safely. This is great for going far distances in public sessions without detection, or obviously for escaping pursuing enemies and then getting the jump on them if you choose to do so. The Raju also has a little bit of armor, being able to take up to 3 homing missiles or 2 explosive rounds. However, 1 RPG will take it down, so be wary of that if you're close to the ground in VTOL mode. But at number 1, we have an electric Imani Tech vehicle. Now, for the number 1 spot, I have 2 vehicles in particular that I recommend. Either of the 2 vehicles can take 12 homing missiles or 12 RPGs due to them being electric, and either can also be equipped with armor plating and oil slick proximity mines, as well as the missile lock-on jammer, of course. These vehicles being the Bravado Buffalo EVX or the Ocelot Virtue. Now, let's talk about which one is right for you and why. Option A is the Ocelot Virtue. This is a free vehicle, or it'll cost you $2,235,000 to $2,980,000 if you don't have the trade price. Now, this is a vehicle for players specifically on a budget or players on legacy GTA Online. Now, the reason I recommend it is because it's the most protective option for you, while also being the fastest out of the available vehicles to get around the map. Plus, you can actually get paid to get it technically by completing the first and last dose missions for Dax. You'll get the car as a mission reward at the end, and you're going to be able to keep it. The Virtue has a top speed of 119.5 miles per hour, and it does have pretty slippery handling. But as far as the best electric Imani Tech vehicle goes on legacy GTA Online, this is your best bet. Option B though is the Bravado Buffalo EVX for $2,140,000 plus an optional additional HSW upgrade for $1,415,000. Now this is the vehicle I recommend for players with a bit more money, particularly for those of you that play on enhanced GTA Online. Obviously the main reason I'm recommending the EVX for enhanced is because of that HSW upgrade, which takes the top speed to a whopping 144.75 miles per hour from only 119 miles per hour without HSW. It also has really good handling for a muscle car, let alone an EV in GTA. It gets a good launch off the line, even without the wheelie. So there you have it, guys. Those are the only defensive vehicles that you're going to need to own in GTA Online in 2026. If you have any one of these on the list, you're probably going to be fine. I really hope you enjoyed this video or you found it informative. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.